So one of the questions was, what's the average duct leakage in the United States today? So what's interesting is I found a study that was done back in 2010. And if you know me for a long time, about 10 years ago was when I was working for a utility rebate implementer, which was heavy in weatherization in homes. So I got to talk to these guys all the time, and I got to read all those EPA studies that came in when they were trying to calculate savings and stuff, right? So this particular study actually tested 14,000 homes or so, and it was sponsored by the EPA at the time. So this, keep in mind, is a little over 10 years old. But what they found was the average leakage of all of that ductwork that they tested across 14,000 homes was 270 CFM. And more than 70% of all the homes they tested had a duct leakage problem. So significant, right? So something that was really good brought that average down, but there was so many that were so bad that average came up, right? So the average leakage is over a half a ton of airflow. So just to put this in perspective, remember, when you're doing new ductwork for code purposes, because the code is 4 CFM per 100 square feet that the unit services, right? Then you're going to actually set new ductwork in your load calculation at 3.3%, which is notable, okay? If it was extreme, if you sealed it to extreme using, let's say, AeroSeal or something along those lines, that's 1.8% or less. And then, of course, you can actually physically enter in the exact leakage number if you wanted to in most load calc softwares, right? So let's put this in perspective. Let's say you have the typical 3-ton system, 2,000 square feet. If you were leaking 270 CFM serving that, that's actually 13.5% per 100 square feet, right? So CFM per 100 square feet. So that's 270 divided by 2,000, 13.5. That equates to an unsealed duct system in the load calculation software. That's 13.8%. So it's within 0.3 of that setting. So if I had more than 270 CFM leakage, we actually probably couldn't actually account for that unless I put in the actual leakage, because I did the duct test. If I just selected unsealed, it's actually a little bit better than that example, okay? So we're not quite accounting for all of those problems in the system design process if we're just going to leave that existing ductwork there. And if I was to have that unsealed duct system in that same square footage home up in an unvented attic, which happens a lot here in the Northeast and across the country, that would equate to about 6,000 BTUs per hour, about a half a ton of load, half a ton of airflow, half a ton of load, right? See the connection here? So it's a huge deal, because if your ductwork is unsealed, the air is going to blow right through whatever that R value is on the ductwork. So you could have R8 or even higher, R11, R12 on the ductwork, or bury it in 12 inches of cellulose if you wanted to. But if it leaks, it's going to be blowing right through. It doesn't matter. And then sucking air right through in the return, right? So you got to fix the leakage first, okay? So basically, I mean, you could cut that down in an attic down to like 1,500 to 2,000 BTUs by either replacing or sealing the duct system, okay? Hi, I'm Chris with HVAC Pro Blog, and I want to thank you for watching my videos every week. If you'd like to help support our channel more, head over to my Patreon page where I have options for as little as $8 a month. If you'd like to join the HVAC Design Society and get your questions answered, like I just showed you, we do this monthly for our elite members. So a special shout out to all those HVAC Design Society members in order to help feed us with content and supporting the channel while getting your questions answered. Thanks for joining me this week at HVAC Pro Blog, where we provide advice for residential system design, quality installation, and system diagnosis. I'll see you soon.